What is going on, CH family? I hope you guys are all having an amazing day so far. Today, I'm going to be going over a very special training for you all. So the blueprint to getting a toned and flat tummy once and for all. So if you've been struggling with like the mom pouch, they call it, or menopause belly, or just the weight in your belly is not going down, especially because for women, you know, it is harder to lose that fat in our waist area, in our abdomen. If that's been your struggle, then you're gonna wanna watch this video because today I'm gonna be breaking down exactly how we can get those chiseled abs or just get a toned tummy once and for all and be able to keep it. So I'll be breaking down the whole process, and then at the end, I'm even gonna give you just a blueprint to follow if you wanna take notes on it, and that way you can just follow the exact process right there, and over time, that will get you to your goal. Okay, so diving right into it, if you're just watching this now, there's going to be a replay, of course, that you can watch it after. But diving straight into it, how do we actually build abs? How do we build a flat tummy? Okay, so some people might ask, like, I want to go over some myths here because some people might ask, like, it's built in the kitchen. It's built by doing crunches every day. Oh, you got to do planks every single day. You got to work your sides. There's so many like different ways that you can do it. Oh, you got to train abs every single day. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, so first and foremost, let's crush a couple myths here. So 99% of the time, all of those products out there, all those supplements, all those fat burners and stuff, they're not gonna help you build abs. What they can do is they can keep you full longer so you eat less, so that way you are more likely to lose more weight, and then that could show your abs more, but they're not gonna necessarily like pinpoint down, directly build abs for you, okay? Myth number 2 is that you have to train abs every single day. Not at all. You don't have to train abs every single day whatsoever. It's actually not good to train abs every single day because these little muscle groups, they need time to recover. Okay, so training them every day is not good whatsoever. Okay, now a few other myths and everything out there is like products, like you take these things, they electrical pulses on your abs, and they say it's going to build abs. No. It doesn't work either. Those tight waist things for your bellies to help change the way your waist looks in your gut. No, it doesn't work at all either. It's actually quite bad for you as well to have such a tight band around your waist. And instead of trying to just look that way, why don't you just become that way instead, right? So no, those aren't going to work either. Now, if you have any other myths or any other like questions about it, drop them down below and I can break that down for you. But those are just a few myths there on how we get abs and whatnot. So how do we actually get abs though, okay? So first and foremost, when we look at somebody who wants to build abs, usually what you're going to see is a layer of fat, okay? Layer of weight in there that is hiding the abs, okay? Good morning, Dion. Hope you're having a good day. So the first step, I'm going to break this into 2 main steps, okay? And then I'm going to break it down for you, and then I'll lay out the blueprint. So first and foremost is we have to lose weight, okay? Depending on how much body fat percentage you have, you either have to lose some weight or you have to lose some body fat percentage, okay? So just fat in general, you're going to have to drop. Now, why? Because what's happening is like, the skin right here, we have 2 types of fat. We have the visceral fat, which is like the stuff that really kills you. And we have the subcutaneous fat though, and that's like just under your skin. So that's what's like hiding your veins and your abs and everything, okay? So first and foremost, we have to drop the subcutaneous fat in order to actually see our muscles so we become more toned and defined. That's where like those terms come from, is being able to see your muscles more, okay? And not necessarily by building those muscles up, that doesn't have a direct connection to being able to see them more either. You have to be able to shred that layer of fat. So that's the first things first, is we have to lose the weight, we have to lose the body fat. You cannot target where you lose weight, but overall your body will store weight differently than other people, and it will drop differently than other people as well. You'll lose in different areas. For me, typically, if I'm on a bulk, my weight will usually start like growing more in my hips area is for me personally. So that's the first step though, is we got to lose weight, okay? We have to lose the body fat percentage. How do we do that? So the first steps first is that we have to make sure we're in a caloric deficit. Okay, you want to make sure that you're consuming less calories than you're already eating, so that way you can actually lose the weight first. The next step is you want to make sure in your diet that you're eating properly. You want to make sure you're not consuming a ton of sugar. You want to make sure that the eating times, like you don't want to have a massive meal before bed, or like sugary drinks and stuff before bed. That's definitely going to store in your belly. The next things here though is that you want to make sure that you're watching your carb amount and also the fat amount as well, and you're having a high protein diet and eating healthy about 80% of the time. So basically all the guidelines that I typically lay out for you guys about nutrition is what you want to follow here for this weight loss, okay? So making sure you're in a caloric deficit, making sure you're getting a proper amount of protein in, and making sure you're eating healthy, let's say 80% of the time or so. So that means, staying away from the processed foods, staying away from the sugars. A lot of like the time, sugar is so bad when it comes to your stomach and your gut as well. So you really want to watch out with your sugar intake, okay? Now, once this is happening, what you also want to do while you're dropping this weight is you want to work out. So you want to build some strength and muscle in your core area, okay? Because what's going to happen there is that if you're genetically gifted, or if you had abs before, like you'll drop the weight and you'll be able to see your abs. But if not, you're gonna drop the weight, you're not really gonna be seeing any abs or nothing like that still, because the muscles aren't really there. So now what you gotta do is you gotta build and strengthen the muscles. I would recommend you can just work core like 2 times a week. Okay, really that's all you need. You can just work core 2 times a week, and just by doing that 2 times a week, you will see some major growth in your strength and your abs in general, okay? So 2 times per week. Now the next thing though is what I would recommend is a mixture, okay? So yeah, have specific exercises just for your abs alone, like crunches, for example, hanging leg raises and stuff. You can target little areas. But also do compound lifts, because compound lifts will allow you to build overall strength in your core, and it'll also hit your core as well when you're doing these lifts, such as if I'm doing a big barbell squat, right? And I have the weight on my back, my stomach has to be flexed and tight because it's my trunk. So it's got to be, instead of not being stable, it's got to keep me stable to be able to go down, lift that weight, come back up, okay? If it's not stable, if I don't have a strong core, then it's all wobbly and doppy and all over the place, and it's dangerous as well. So by doing compound lifts, it's going to build that strength in the core, build that strength in your trunk, and allow you to build up your abs as well, okay? And then after that, you can have abs, okay? So you can do a quick circuit. I like personally when I do abs, it's like I like just doing a quick circuit to get it done with. So that means like, kind of like a HIIT workout. Okay, 3 exercises. One will target the lower, one will target the upper, and then maybe I'll do a plank after for the overall. And then I'll do that, and I'll do that maybe 4 sets, right? And I'll do one right after the other, and then I'll rest for a minute or so, 30 seconds, and then keep doing it. Really target, get it done, get it over with. Next thing is you can just treat it like a normal workout. So I'm going to do planks. I'm going to do 3 sets of planks, okay, for this amount of time. And then next I'm going to do hanging leg raises for this amount of time. And then I'm going to do crunches for this amount of time. You can do like an actual workout too for them if you want it as well. Okay, but make sure you're adding both in. Make sure you're getting your compound lifts and target like isolated movements as well for your abs. And remember, there's always different ways that you can target different areas of your abs, but that's not necessarily going to burn the fat in those areas. It's just going to build those certain muscles, okay? So for example, I know back in the day when I was in my personal trainer course, they were talking about how like oftentimes when girls are trying to get thin, smaller waist, they'll train all these different areas of their abs, but the problem is that if you're training like the sides, for example, and your sides a lot, right, and you build bigger muscles there, it's not going to show as thin. So it just depends on your goal. So it's like if you want a strong, thicker core, yes, of course, work all those areas and make sure you get them done. But if you want a thinner core and stuff, you have to just be a little careful there. But other than that, though, that's basically it there, how you build the abs and how you build, a proper flat tummy and core. As you see, there's no crazy magical secret or nothing like that. I'm going to lay out the actual blueprint so you guys can take notes on what you should actually do here in a second. But as you can see, again, there's no magical pill behind this. There's no magical approach. It's just consistency with it, dropping that body fat percentage and keep going, okay? Literally, one of my clients went from being 100 pounds plus overweight to, in less than a year, they now have a solid 6-pack, which is crazy to think about. So it's like, yes, you can get there very quickly, but you have to stay consistent on your journey. So next, though, is the blueprint, okay? So the blueprint. Now, I just want to add in a quick note here, guys, too, is that everyone has different genes as well, okay? So it's like your abs might show up differently, especially like for girls as well. When it comes to your genetics and stuff, like in your abs and how they look and everything, like they're gonna pop up different than everyone else, but that's just a side note. So how do we actually do this? So the blueprint, I want you guys to take notes on this. So this is gonna become like your ab kind of guide, okay? So let's say you're already working out and everything. This is just specifically for the abs, okay? So first and foremost, when it comes to workouts, 2 times per week, okay? So 2 times per week, we wanna train abs. And now this workout can be a circuit or it can be an actual workout for abs. So let's say anywhere between 15 to 30 minutes or so, you wanna train your abs, do it 2 times per week, okay? I wouldn't go above 3 times per week if I were you, okay? So 2 times per week, abs specifically. So that means like you're adding them in to your already doing workouts, okay? Now, the next thing is in your workouts, you want to have compound lifts. Okay, so in your workouts, you want to make sure you're doing compound lifts. Okay, so that means that even though you're not specifically targeting your abs, you're still going to be building them, going to be getting it stronger. So that means if you're doing leg day, for example, add in those compounds like lifts, add in those squats, okay? The barbell squats for sure, or over in the front squats as well. You can do stuff like that. Things that are going to target that core in your trunk and get it stronger, okay? So let's say if you're doing chest day, then maybe some barbell bench press or something like that. So that way you can really work your core and strengthen as well, okay? Now, the next thing is, add in cardio. Let's say 20% of your workout, make it cardio, okay? And then I just say it just so you can burn some more calories faster. It's just good for your overall health as well. And lastly, when it comes to the nutrition side of things, so that's basically the blueprint for the workouts. Now for the actual workouts, like for abs, I'd say like pick 3 to 4 exercises. So about 4 exercises. And then you can do 3 to 4 sets depending on your level. If you're just a beginner, do like 3 sets. If you're like pretty intermediate, been going for a while, do 4 sets. For your workout. So 4 exercises, 4 sets. And for exercise specifically, like I'm sure if you just Google like best ab exercises, it might give you a good answer. But you got like the hanging leg raises are really, really good for like the lower abs. You can do just planks for like overall burning more calories and stuff and just overall your core. You can do specifically just like crunches. You can do like flutter kicks as well. There's tons and tons of exercises that you just look up and add in. But I'd say do about 3 or 4 exercises though, specifically for your core. And if not, you can do like a circuit and do the circuit for about 20 minutes or so, 15 minutes, and that's like really, really good, okay? Now the next thing is that we wanna make sure the nutrition is on point because you build all the strength and all the muscles in the world, but if it's all covered in fat, then you won't be able to see it no matter what, okay? So at this point, yes, it is going to be built in the kitchen, and that means 80% of the time you're eating healthy. So 80% healthy. The next thing is sticking to water and cutting sugar. So cut sugar as much as possible. Okay. Now the next thing is high protein diet. So high protein. And that means that doesn't mean you have to do low carb or low fat. Your body will react differently. But just make sure it's high protein, okay? So high protein such as like 30% plus for your macros, okay? So 30% protein in your macros. Now, lastly is you gotta be in a caloric deficit. Okay, so caloric deficit is what you gotta be in if you truly wanna drop this weight in as well. So caloric deficit, you don't want to be in a crazy deficit where you're just like, dropping like crazy amount of weight every week, but you do want to be in a caloric deficit, aim, let's say if you have 30 pounds, to lose, you can easily drop 2 pounds a week, like for sure. So I would aim for about 2 pounds per week or so if you have a good amount of weight to lose. If you have like 50 pounds, 80 pounds plus, you can lose easily 3 to 4 pounds a week as well. And if you have like 10 pounds to lose, perhaps aim for like 0.5 pounds a week, maybe 1 pound a week too, depending on your activity level and your metabolism and all that. But whatever it may be in a caloric deficit. Okay, how you calculate that, just if you're not as active, you can just take your current weight in pounds, like 180 pounds, times it by 10 and go off that number, track it on MyFitnessPal daily, at least for the first little bit, so you can get a good hang of things if you're doing this on your own. And if you find 1800, you're not losing weight after 2 weeks, cut it down. Go down to like 1600, see if you lose weight after 2 weeks. If you don't lose weight then after 2 weeks, reevaluate. Make sure that you're doing it properly. You're calculating all your numbers. No hidden calories are getting involved there. The whole 9 yards for that. And then if needed, you can make adjustments as you go. Okay? So that is how we build our abs, guys. That is the exact formula on how we build our tummy and how we build our abs. Remember, it doesn't have to be so overwhelming. It doesn't have to be so hard. You just have to be able to stay consistent with it and make it a lifestyle. It's something where you got to understand, like, okay, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to lose this weight. I am going to do this for the rest of my life. I'm going to stick with this for the rest of my life. I'm going to work out. And that shouldn't be a sad thing, because I promise you, the way you feel right now, you might feel like, I hate the gym. I don't want to work out. It sucks. I don't like sweating. But eventually, once you build that body and you appreciate yourself so much more because of how you're feeling on a daily basis, and you're in this journey, you're going to switch your mind. You're going to be like, I never want this to end. This is what I look for onto a daily basis. This is literally like my therapy. Everything switches. So how you're thinking and feeling right now, understand that can completely change in like a few months when you're getting into the gym, when you're getting those results, okay? So just because your beliefs and how you feel and stuff is like that right now, understand that you can change that over. And on the other side, it's 20 times better with the results and how you feel, okay? So that's my little tip for you today when it comes to those who are feeling that way with the, I don't want to work out for the rest of my life. I don't want to do this and that. There you go. So other than that though, everyone, that is the training for today. Take action on this immediately, and I promise you, your abs will come. Again, I had a client who was 320 pounds. They ended up losing all their weight, over 100 plus pounds, and they literally built a 6-pack. They sent me a picture of it the other day. They were working out after their workout, and they had an actual 6-pack. Okay? So it's like this can happen for you too. They are no different than you. They just have a proper plan. It's sustainable for them. They love their plan, and they're consistent, and they show up for themselves every single day. Okay? So show up for yourself, take action on what you truly want, and don't hold this off any longer, because I promise you, it only gets harder over time if you do hold it off. So take action today for a better tomorrow, Stage Fam, and I love you all, and I hope you all have an amazing day. And if you watch the video this long, make sure you leave a smiley face down below in the comments so I know who paid attention. That being said, I'll see you all later.